Instinct.
And we're live. Looks like we're live at least. Oh man, so I'll try to go through who we have here like I usually do. We have Ryan Davis, Isaac Upchurch, Art Davidson. Anyway, Ryan. Oh, I said Ryan Davis. Gabriel. Sorry if I ruined that. Zero Hero, Storm Chasing. Zach McDonald's here. Riley, Frank Strasser, Massa Cheese, I guess. Adidas is here. All right, so you may notice something weird right away. This has almost made me late for the stream. Wait, that way. Mortal Kombat 4 is down, and I'm not happy about this. Oh, can you guys even hear me? Let me look. Okay. Mortal Kombat 4 is down. I'm not happy about that at all because, oh, Terry Caleb's here. Panic Flip Gaming, Don Chaffee. I hope I didn't ruin that. Paquito and Cryotech. Oh, used to be Cryotech. Wait a minute. I made that up. Pyrotech, I'm thinking of. And Downbeat Exigent. I hope I didn't ruin that one either. Okay, Rikaku's here. Anyway, I gotta quit reading the names. I am gonna leave this one up, so I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit quicker. I don't know what happened. This always happens when I try to just sit down and have a relaxing stream where I'm just talking to you guys. I turn on the games and I've been staggering the powering on of them because I used to turn all four of, gosh, everything's backwards, all four of these on with one switch. And I noticed when I used to do that, the Mortal Kombat 4, the board that converts the arcade board signal to HDMI would freak out and reset, and I'd have to change all the settings. So I'm hoping that's all it is. The game boots up. I hear it do the one bong sound, so I know that's good. But it plays blind and everything, but it says no signal. So I started tinkering with some of the setting, or some of the HDMI. I tried to plug direct into that board instead of the splitter, but still says no signal. The little bit of video I did get was really messed up, which worried me a little bit, but still the, the board did not signify there's any problems. It booted normally and started going into the attract mode, so maybe I need to buy another one of those converter boards. But anyway, moving on. That's just going to distract me a little bit because I can see it behind me and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. I hope nothing's wrong with my beloved MK4. So we're here today to talk about Killer Instinct, and I set up this stream ahead of time, of course, so you guys could all see it and be prepared for it. And of course, I actually got an answer from John D, or kind of a comment from John D about what we're looking at here, the KI. I probably should have gotten a screenshot, but let me see. You guys can't see any of this, I realize. I didn't have time to make a new layout, but let's take a look at this real quick. So there's about the best shot we have of it currently. Let me move this over here. This is actually a video that I've chopped up CNET's video and reversed this clip because this clip was originally running backwards. And you could tell that if you watch the time on Killer Instinct, it was counting up instead of down. So I reversed the clip. I still can't tell if this clip itself has just been slowed down in general, like the editor of the video decided to slow it down for some reason, maybe to make it all fit in there. So who knows on that? I can't say for sure, but the game appears to be running slowly, and I kind of have an answer for that now. And let me get it out of the way right away. The cabinet looks like the Legacy cabinet, but first things first, I guess I should say that this is confirmed to be a prototype. I'll go ahead and load the picture up here. Screenshot from John D. That is just a that just a prototype. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry, hold on. That's right, everything's moved a little bit. So he even says this is just a prototype, so maybe it doesn't look like this. Maybe it looks a little bit more like the picture we saw originally. Maybe they just put this one together just to kind of say, well, we have it kind of running and we want to check it out. You know what? Let me see. Massa cheese. You're right. It does kind of look like a widescreen monitor. I think it may just be how it looks, though. I don't think it's widescreen. That's unusual. I didn't even notice that till you said that. It kind of looks wider than it should. Excuse me. Panic flip. I need to put a CRT in that MK4. I'd love to, but I don't have a CRT. Maybe I could put one in. But anyway, off topic. I'll get to that another time. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. So I'm going to play this clip here really quick. Keep in mind, though, the whole video has been kind of, not really ruined, but at least we get to look at it and kind of speculate on a few things. But it's been kind of stepped on because at least they confirmed it's just a prototype, and hopefully it doesn't fully look and perform like this. Because right away when I saw this thing first thing in the morning today, I was tired, or still kind of asleep, and I knew this thing was running slowly. So let's look at it. This is a very, very quick clip. I'm actually going to, where's my thing? I'm going to rewind it. And actually, I'm going to give you guys full screen view, or as full screen as I can get it currently. So you can see, and this whole video could be running slowly. It doesn't look like it runs.
But we have, better wood right now. We have better screen.
The whole thing kind of looks a little more, doesn't look smooth. Like the frame rate looks a little jagged. So it's possible this clip is just slowed down. But you guys can kind of see that the gameplay is moving slowly, but then again, if they slowed the clip down, we'll never know for sure. But I guess it's possible that they just slowed the clip down, but we can't really tell either way unless you guys can see something from the actual other games nearby. And since it's so fast, it's really hard to tell. But I can't tell from looking at the other games if this video is just slowed down. Let's look at it one more time, and then we'll move on to the next shot, which is actually I zoomed way into the background. I zoomed way into the background of this clip, and you can see it is sitting on, I can't tell the character, maybe Saberwolf's bio screen, and then it goes into the typical Killer Instinct, where the logo, I was hoping mine was just about to do it, but it's not, to where the logo will, just in case it does it. But once these logo screens go away, it goes into the Killer Instinct logo forming, and then it flashes on the screen. I'm going to keep watching so you can see behind me here. Hopefully it comes up. I'll tell you what, I'll just hit a button. Okay, no I won't. What's happening? It's actually on the Saberwolf screen, so here it goes. So there you go. It moves at a decent clip. Actually, if you watch the real arcade hardware, sometimes it moves a little slower, I've noticed. Okay, let's go back to this one. Watch this one closely in the distance. You can see this clip is definitely running at full speed. But you can see it runs a little slowly back there. Here's another zoomed in shot from a different shot, actually. And that's all we get of it, unfortunately. This is very much like watching... I saw an alien footage from a distance. You can see it moves quite slowly. Here's that second shot again. It's definitely moving slower than full arcade speed.
Screen resolutions right now. We have
so I am happy to hear that this is supposedly just a prototype, meaning it could be running on lower end hardware, and that wouldn't be that surprising to me at that point. But it's definitely was a little bit concerning to me because of the fact that a number of things on this cabinet aren't really what I'd hoped. Let's look at this screen one more time. So here it is sitting there. Okay, it's a little bit cut off. There we go. So here it is sitting there, and we can see right away it looks like a Legacy cabinet, which I really didn't like. I liked what they had shown originally. I don't like the control deck being sunken in where the sides of the cabinet stick up over it. All the typical stuff we weren't a big fan of as far as the Legacy cabinet goes. So I'm hoping that this will not be the final representation of it, but they clearly took some time to at least make this. So maybe it was something they've been kicking around the office for a long time for all we know. Maybe they made this a year and a half ago and were like, we want to make a Killer Instinct. This is how it runs on our current hardware, which appears to be not great, at least. So I'm hoping that that's all going to be fixed. But the live button on the deck makes me wonder. Clearly they had thought about that down there, so who knows. The sticks look like the typical Arcade1Up sticks, but it's very hard to tell from here. Let me check the chat, see what everyone thinks. Dragon Punch Dave, you're right, looks slow and choppy. So I think it's pretty much confirmed to be slow, and at least according to, let me put it back up on the screen in case people are dropping in. John D says it's just a prototype, so we don't have to worry too much. That information came out after I scheduled the stream, or I may have just probably canceled the stream, but still I thought it'd be fun to take a look at it. I'm going to move John D's comment over here a little bit. You know what? We'll just shrink it down. There we go. So we'll keep that on the screen in case anybody's just dropping in and it's like, oh god. Black sticks from Fahad, yes. That's good. That's one bonus right there. I like when... you know what? Killer Instinct had blue, though, now that I think about it. I don't like that as much. Hopefully they put blue bat tops. Doesn't really matter to me. I don't care what they release. Unless it's HAP, I'm going to swap out the controls when I get it. There's just no way I'm not going to do that. Fighter's Choice Arcades here. All right, so here's a good comment from Gabriel Gray. So I got the MK Legacy and Capcom Legacy and Pac-Man Legacy, and they aren't for tall people like me. That's something that's a little weird about this cabinet. I don't know why they don't just tilt back the monitor. Maybe they're going to, but I don't know why they didn't just do that in the first place. Let me get a screenshot of something I can hopefully zoom in on here to show you guys too. Oh god, it's so small. This is underneath the marquee, and it is a red Arcade1Up logo. So that was an interesting touch. I like that. And it makes me wonder, too, since they are going to be forced to remove all Nintendo logos. It's almost 100% certain that's the case. I have a feeling they're probably going to be making their own intro, like, available for your home in possibly 2022, only on Arcade1Up and all that. That would be interesting if they did that. I think that would be kind of a cool touch. I don't like when they mess with these old games, but they're already messing with it enough by potentially not having it in there at all, or almost certainly not having it in there at all. Okay. Where are we at? Royal blue, baby. Yeah, you need to have those blue sticks, I think. Wrong color blue. Good. That is kind of a good point. Maybe it's this video. Maybe they tweaked the... it's possible they tweaked, like, the color settings and the saturation and all that when they were editing this video. But yeah, they're a little light blue. As far as I know, no arcade button maker makes buttons that light blue, but I could be wrong. Mad Dad's Gaming, it was lagging bad in the video, and it, oh, made you mad. All right. Well, I get it. But take a note there that John D says it's just a prototype, so that's good to hear. There's still hope. Personally, I really am not that worried. I'm worried that it'll just take a long time to come out. That was my initial fear was, why hasn't this been talked about? Why haven't we seen anything about it? And maybe it's because they were having trouble getting hardware at a reasonable price that is powerful enough to run Killer Instinct. Most of us know that you're not going to get a smooth Killer Instinct running on a Pi other than the Atomic Pi. And that Atomic Pi, which, oh man, I wish I had it out. It's in the closet. That board is, you know, good size, has a huge heat sink on it, and they're not going to be putting that in an Arcade1Up. I'd be blown away if that was in an Arcade1Up. So clearly they need to work out the hardware stuff, but I always have faith once I saw Code Mystics was involved. They already worked on the original, not the original, but they already worked on putting Killer Instinct on the Xbox One, and it's worked pretty well there. I mean, there's a few minor glitches and things that I've pointed out, or hiccups, but no big deal there. I mean, at least the gameplay is good and seems to run pretty close to the arcade. So I think that with them behind it, we're going to get a good release. I don't think that they're going to allow it to be slow and choppy. I think that's going to upset too many fans. Even if just the attract mode and maybe some of the video, Supreme Victory videos were slow and choppy, I think that would make enough people mad where they would throw a big fit. So I don't think they're going to allow that to happen. But you never know. I just don't know how they're going to get hardware that is affordable to sell in an Arcade1Up to run Killer Instinct. It was always my concern from the beginning. But we'll see. My cabinet has got overkill hardware in it. Technically, I've got a Core i5. I think it's a 4570 processor in it, 3.2 gigahertz, like 8 gigs of RAM. You're not going to see that in an Arcade1Up. That was a used computer bought on eBay, and it was $150. It's It's not going to happen with Arcade1Up. So I'm very, very intrigued to see what the hardware is. Okay. Zach McDonald, tilted screen and control panel would make such a difference. I agree. I'm hoping that this really is just a prototype, and we're going to see that control panel tilted down just a little bit. I currently have, of course, an old school Street Fighter cabinet turned into a Killer Instinct, and the control panel really doesn't slant down much, but at least it sits up over the sides of the cabinet. I don't like how it's recessed down in there like on the Legacy cabinet. That's really, I don't like that at all, really. And I'm not sure how I feel about that bezel art. I don't know if we need 2 Killer Instincts on either side, but that's nitpicking at this point. I don't really care that much. The other thing that's going to bother me the most, and I think it's been bothering a lot of people, is the price. I've been struggling with, do I really want to spend maybe $700+ on this cabinet when I have one behind me that's more accurate to the arcade version? And truthfully, I'd much rather spend $700 and something putting it towards a real Killer Instinct. That's my next goal. I'm always looking every day. I check. People are looking for me. I've already told Retro Ralph, if you sell that Killer Instinct, please let me know. I will make the drive to Phoenix to get it for sure. So if the price is right and I have the extra money and time, but I just don't know. But I did see Luis, who I also run the Killer Instinct fan page. Oh no. The Arcade1Up, the unofficial, I guess. I don't know if it's the official. I'm sorry, I'm terrible admin here. I can't pull it up right now either. Maybe I can on this computer. I should have put a link in the description. Maybe I can drop one in the chat, though. We run that fan page, and he actually shared, now that the Simpsons cabinets are coming out for pre-order, he shared that you can actually get them cheaper on Walmart. You can get them for about $5.29, I believe, which I could see spending $5.29 on a Killer Instinct. That would be fine. With online play, I think the value is worth it at that point. So I'm dropping this link, by the way. I'm going to attempt to. No, I'm not. What is happening? I'm sorry. I don't usually do a show-style one, but here we go. Here's the link to our Facebook group if you guys want to join. And maybe if you're watching on the other ones, just go to YouTube and you could probably see it in the chat. But anyway, I could pay $5.29 for a Killer Instinct if it has online play, and that means I can play against you guys, of course. That's been my whole goal with buying this. Like I said, I've got a Killer Instinct. I want to buy a real Killer Instinct. So the only draw for me with a Arcade1Up release of Killer Instinct is the online play. I think that's a huge draw. So if the price is right, I'll get it at $7.50 with tax and shipping. It's almost too much. Frank Strasser, Chris, weren't you on the testing program for them? So apparently that's like Fight Club, and you're not supposed to even admit you're in that group. I don't want to get in any trouble because I did sign an NDA, but I don't know anything, for one. All I know is I'm in a Facebook group where I can see a few things. Just nothing you're missing out on, believe me. Nothing about Killer Instinct either at the moment. But I guess I just kind of admitted I'm in that group, so yeah. But literally know nothing. I've contributed nothing because I don't have any of the cabinets they're currently asking us to test. So I have made it known to the person who runs that program that I'm more than willing to help with Killer Instinct, and I would love to help with Killer Instinct. And if you have any testing you need me to do beforehand or even after, let me know. I'll be glad to help out. But there's only so many times I can offer without being annoying. Like I early on messaged John D. I messaged the other guy. I can't remember his name right now. I'm sorry. Neither of them read it as far as I even know. It's fine. The message went out. You know, I know even Ralph apparently said he put in a word for me, but what are you going to do? I can't beg them to help. You know, it's fine. If they don't need my help, that's fine too. So I do know that Code Mystics are a very capable bunch of people. They already saw my video where I pointed out some issues with their current emulation. They explained that some of the problems were the processor on the Xbox One, which is like, okay, so the Xbox One is probably miles ahead of any Arcade1Up hardware, and it's still struggling to emulate Killer Instinct. And it's more about how the processing cores are split up from what I understand. So maybe that's it. But still, I'd argue that probably 2 of those processing cores from the original Xbox One is probably more powerful than any Arcade1Up hardware out currently. How they're going to do it, I don't know. They're wizards anyway. They do great emulation, so that's why I figure they're probably not going to mess this thing up. So don't worry too much about that. I think, yep, David McIntosh. There you go, Red Sea Gaming. Thank you. Don't worry too much about it. I'm more worried about the design at this point. Because it's either going to come out and work really well, or it may not come out for a while. They may delay it for all we know. All right. Where am I looking here? Let me try to catch up with some of the chat. Oh, Brendan S. Maybe they'll just put refurbished PCs in them. That wouldn't be a terrible idea, but sure enough, I don't know how they would ever do that. It would increase the weight of the whole packaging anyway. And that's really what's in all my cabinets. I buy refurbished HP Elitedesk PCs. They run everything smoothly. I know they're talking about doing a Blitz, and I'm thinking, okay, Killer Instinct is difficult enough to emulate. Blitz is way farther than that even. My Blitz back there is actually stressing that Core i5 processor at time, especially on Blitz 2000. If you have a super foggy field, like a muddy field or a snowy field, it actually has some audio stutter. So keep that in mind. What do we got here? What is this? Sir S? Oh gosh. Oh, Sir Stabalot. Okay, we got a thumbs down with the thing and then a thumbs up. So I don't know if you're asking me what I think, but we'll see. I really don't know what to think currently. There's just not enough out. Look how excited I'm getting over just seeing the cabinet running in the background of another video done by a company not Arcade1Up. You know, they had some CNET come in and do their own video. So we're getting excited about just scraps at this point because this is all we've seen since the announcement in January, I believe. Okay. Terry Caleb, how long does it take to build a Killer Instinct cabinet? You know, if you had all the parts already here, and I assume you're talking about modding an Arcade1Up into one, if you get all the parts in and they're ready to go, if you're experienced and don't have problems with the software part of it, you know, getting MAME and everything set up, I could probably do it in like a weekend. It would probably, if I really had everything ready to go and the wife was willing to help apply the art because she's the genius, probably wouldn't take me more than oh gosh, it is hard to say because the software side takes a while. Probably like a good 12 hours of work. That's why when people ask me, will you make me an Arcade1Up? Will you sell me your Blitz? Everyone wants me to make them an NFL Blitz. I'd love to do that. The problem is the cabinets are more expensive now, for one. The parts are expensive. If that came in, I think it would probably end up costing, at minimum, for me to sell it and make even a remote like little bit of profit, it would be minimum of $2,000, which is absolutely crazy for an Arcade1Up. So I always tell people just go look for a used Blitz at that point and do that, or build one yourself using my video. I made a detailed video on how to mod an Arcade1Up, and that's about the best that I can do. I could be greedy, definitely, and try to start gouging people to make Arcade1Ups, but it just doesn't, I can't do that in good conscience. Okay. Smeghead, wow, probably shouldn't have said that name. The one really nice feature supposed to be in the KI Arcade1Up is the multiplayer, but we'll see if it's actually in it. So if they don't somehow include that, I'd be blown away. I think that's probably the easy part of this entire thing. It's finding the hardware. But then I did think today, how much hardware power does it take to actually have the online play running? Because it has to do some sort of processing on that board probably to make the online play work. So you're adding more processing power on top of an already pretty demanding arcade game. So I don't know on that one. Okay. Red Sea Gaming. I hate when people say I'm not worried about the emulation. They said that about the pinball and Zen release after, after it was halfway done, I'm going to say. I put that on Arcade1Up. They try to go cheap and sell high. Yeah, I could see that, but if this was anybody but Code Mystics, that's when I would be worried. I think Code Mystics has a name to protect. They made the emulation for Star Wars actually better than the MAME emulation. So they improved the graphics and were able to put effects that could not be recreated in MAME currently in their version of the emulation. So technically, outside of having the real Star Wars arcade cabinet, you're actually getting a better version when you buy the Arcade1Up instead of just modding one and putting it in there. So when I modded my Star Wars, I knew I was going to get a technically lower end version of the emulation for those games. You get used to it after a while, but it just shows you how good Code Mystics really is. Chad, would you recommend a stronger CPU for Blitz? You're building a sports/fighting cab. Stronger than the one that I'm using in the computers that I recommend? It's tough to say. So if things like audio pops that occasionally appear really, really bother you, like you don't want to be taken out of the fake home arcade experience, then you might consider a more powerful one. I've seen the, what is it, the Core i5 9600, I believe. That one apparently not only runs that game much smoother, it also apparently runs NBA Showtime. Don't take my word for it. I read that in a YouTube comment somewhere or saw it on someone's video, but that's a very expensive processor, and you're gonna have to start building your own at that point. You know, you're gonna have to. I've looked into building a PC base for that just so I can put it in the Blitz so I can play Showtime smoothly. And it was probably, without a case, I think it was $500, and that's a lot of money. So 500 versus 150, and you may have some audio pops. It's tough to say on that. Let's see. Okay, Sir Stabalot, you want any of the new ones, but the price increase is stopping me from getting a new cabinet. So I hear that. I'm glad I got to buy all of mine when I did. I got most of mine on sale. That was great. I don't know if we're going to see those days again. You may see them few and far between. I don't know if we'll see something like that for big releases, but it's possible. I don't know what to think of the price increase. I mean, it's I've talked about it before. You pretty much have to expect it. Everything's more expensive now. You can blame COVID. You can blame all kinds of different stuff. The price of wood. So you never know. It's just, they may never come back down, or maybe they will lower the price. Now the price of materials has gone down, but if you watch that video that I'm showing this picture from here, or this screenshot from, you'll see that Scott Bacharach actually says they're putting higher end hardware in. They're putting better quality wood materials. So it's tough to say. I don't know how much better the wood's gonna get unless it's thicker. I don't know much about, you know, MDF and all that, but I would personally want to see better controls. That's a pretty cheap upgrade as far as I can tell. Maybe not HAP. I know HAP is difficult, probably difficult to fit inside these cabinets anyway for them. So I could see why they wouldn't go with HAP, but maybe just like slightly upgraded stuff. Maybe real Sanwa, I forget how to say it. Things like that may be a good upgrade, but I don't know. We'll see. Let me see here. Mad Dad's Gaming, they're going to have to keep that price and put at least a decent CPU board in them, don't you think? I agree. You also say it might be $550 or so without the stool. So they can keep the stool as far as I'm concerned. I've got a stool. I've got room for one stool in this room. I've got another stool downstairs for the Star Wars, and that's it. I don't have much more room for stools. If you're going to try to charge me another $100+ for it, keep the stool. The stool is probably $20 for them to make at most. So I don't need that, but sorry, I'm reading another comment, but $550 I think is a fair price for Killer Instinct. No stool, that's fine. $550 with a light up marquee. I don't need the light up deck. I don't need any of that stuff. If you can get us a cabinet, a Killer Instinct for $550, I'd be fine with that. I'd probably buy that. Where are we here? Red Sea Gaming, I really like Code Mystics, but the fact that we haven't heard anything from them or Arcade1Up about KI is very worrisome. People said the same thing about CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk. Yeah, it's concerning. Believe me, I get messages probably at least 2 or 3 times a week nowadays from people being like, "Hey, what's up with Killer Instinct? I'm starting to worry." You know, like Daniel, the guy I bought my MK4 that's not working currently, from, not his fault by the way. He called me the other day. He's like, "Dude, what's going on? I'm thinking about buying an Arcade1Up again. What's happening with this Killer Instinct? Is it gonna be worth it?" And I can't answer that question. I just don't know yet. And I can come up with all my theories, which I've already mentioned here before. Like, sure, they announced it and then realized, ooh, we may have to work out a hardware issue before we can release this thing. It could just be that maybe they want us to keep talking about it and getting excited for it. It is probably one of the most anticipated Arcade1Up releases ever, I'd imagine. It's one of them that I made a whole video on, I believe. Or no, it was one of my 5 games we'll likely never see. And it came out, so, or it's coming out, supposedly. So they already proved me wrong there, supposedly, but we'll see how it goes. We don't know what's going to happen. Console Fanboy's here. Go check out Console Fanboy, by the way. That is Zohar. If you're not familiar with Zohar, get familiar with him. Check out his channel. He actually made a really, really good, and I'm not saying this negative about you, by the way, Zohar. It's just when people really put time in on a YouTube channel initially, the quality's not always there. I mean, that's just how it is. You're still kind of feeling your way through everything, like, how can I edit a video? And you just may not be used to it. You nailed the editing of that video. I just did not expect that. I knew it was going to be an entertaining video. But yeah, it was a very good video that I was shocked within the first minute. I was like, oh wow, this is actually a quality video. Anyway, the video is about his custom-made Mortal Kombat 1 cabinet made by Bobby Vu, and it is really a really good build. And I'm actually quite jealous because it's in the shape of the old Midway cabinet, just shrunken down. So if Bobby could somehow sell that cabinet kit and I could buy a kit from him and put my Killer Instinct art on it and have it look more like a Killer Instinct, I might be in heaven. But then again, I'm just going to wait and buy a real Killer Instinct at this point. Excuse me. But go check out Console Fanboy. I watched his premiere last night. It was really good. Okay, Ryan Davis, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't MK2 Arcade 1-Up 200 to 225 at launch at Walmart? That's reasonable to me. The more they improve the specs on newer model releases, the higher the price. So I don't think it was. I think it was $299 at launch. You may have found a deal. I know I found a deal on mine. I just waited like 3 weeks and looked around at all the Walmarts. I think I got mine for like $199, but I think $299 was the price. Laramie Griffiths here, another guy you got to check out. He makes awesome Arcade 1-Up marquees. He made this one in the MK2. They don't look that great on camera at the moment because this camera is not the highest quality, but trust me, they look amazing in person. Check out, I have a whole video review on them. Okay, losing my voice already, so I'm going to try to wrap this up. Panic Flip Gaming, if this thing ends up being a disaster, which could be likely, the prices of real KI cabs are going to jump even higher. Oh no, don't say that. Even higher than they are now because people are going to want the real thing. Yeah, don't say that, by the way. I need to have my Killer Instinct here, but I mean a real Killer Instinct. So yeah, that it may happen. And I have heard that people who are arcade collectors saying like they don't really like Arcade 1-Up because it's driving up the price. I guess more and more people are buying Arcade 1-Ups being like, these are great and all, but I just want the real thing now. So that's definitely a problem. Let's see, Mr. Keebler, the cheapest any Arcade 1-Up at launch has been $300, and that's without a riser. Okay, good point there. I gotta get some water really quick. Okay, let's put this back up on here so you guys can look at that instead of just looking at me. Let's see. Oh, well, look at that. $4.99 super chat from Console Fanboy. That's Zohar, by the way. Thank you so much, dude. I look up to you, so those words mean a whole lot. Seriously, thank you. Well, Zohar, for real, I told you last night, and by the way, I won a katana statue. That's right. At the end of the stream, I was able to answer a trivia question about Mortal Kombat I thought I'd never answer, but it's a part of a Mortal Kombat 4 ending, so I was able to get the answer. But anyway, thank you for that, Zohar. And yeah, I mean, I told you last night, like, I'm not just saying it was good to be nice. Like, that was a seriously well put together video. The voiceover quality was high. Like, it made me feel like I need to step up my game because lately I'm very busy and I've had to push videos out the door pretty quickly. And it's kind of like, you know, when I see someone who's technically just starting out, I know you have other videos on your channel, but you said this was like your first official video. When I see you just starting out at that quality, I'm thinking, oh God, I don't stand a chance. Thank you very much for the super chat, by the way. Hey, Jacob's here. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up soon, but any last questions, please throw them at me. After that, I've got to open up the Mortal Kombat again and see if I can figure out what the problem is here. I hope it's not dead. I'd be devastated if like something went wrong on the actual arcade board versus just that little $30 board inside. So, yeah. Mr. Keebler, I've said the same about potential supply of originals. If every Arcade 1-Up fan turned and said, I'll buy the real thing, secondhand prices would skyrocket. Excuse me. And good luck finding them at this point. Yeah, it's pretty insane. So, in 2005, I was looking like crazy to buy a real Killer Instinct. That was when I just figured out MAME at that point. I just started emulating Killer Instinct, which blew my mind completely. The fact that I could play that arcade version at home for real, you know, it was always like, the SNES version kind of sucks, but it was really good gameplay-wise, and they did a lot with what they had, but it was not the arcade. So when I could play it at home, I was just completely blown away. It was so good. So then I immediately was like, well, I want the real thing, of course, because I was playing on a little cheap controller plugged in through USB, and you know, it makes you want the real thing. They were only, you could get a $500 Killer Instinct cabinet in my area, readily available in 2005. It's like arcades everywhere were getting shut down. You know, nobody was going to them anymore, and they were probably just like, we got to sell this crap off. Who wants a Killer Instinct? Nobody wants that in their house. It's too big. And I think they finally all got bought up, and now when I see one, it's usually in pretty bad shape, and they still want like $1,500 minimum for it. So it's tough. So if Ralph somehow sells his at a price I can afford, and he doesn't owe it to anybody ahead of me, I will seriously drive out there and pick it up. Even if I don't have room for it, which I don't, I'm going to put it somewhere. It's going to go in my garage. I'm not putting that one in storage probably. And if I do, I'm wrapping that thing. I'll probably take the board out of it and then wrap it in like tons of plastic and tarps to keep dust and stuff off it and keep bugs and things out of it. But yeah. So the voice is definitely going. Thank you, Riley. I have a nice voice. So yeah. I do check, I don't know if you're talking to me, Masa Cheese, eBay, Craigslist, and Facebook Marketplace. I check all the time on those. I found one in my city not too long ago, a Killer Instinct. It was in decent shape too, and it was $2,500. Just no chance. I don't have $2,500 to just throw on an arcade game I don't have anywhere to put. So, yeah, that's going to be tough. Let's see. Frank Strasser, I don't know from experience, but Retro Ralph got good deals traveling and haggling. Yeah, I'm not a haggler either, so I don't have that haggling gene. I know his co-star of the original Arcade Pickers, Corey. Corey's a heck of a haggler. He's also like 7 feet tall from what I gather. He looks huge. So it's probably easier to haggle when you seem like a big dude that may be a little more intimidating, even though he seems like a very nice guy. But he's such a big dude that I was like, if that guy was like, can you take 100 off? I'd be like, yes, sir, no problem. You know, I'm like 5'7". So yeah, maybe that helped. I noticed he always got better deals than Ralph. So I don't know how tall Ralph is though. I think I don't know, he looks like he's about 5'10". Okay. Where am I looking at? Oh, I see something here. Mr. Keebler got to visit Cidercade a few weeks back. Super fun to see so many cabs. Cidercade's awesome. If you guys are anywhere in Texas, I guess if you're in El Paso, don't bother because it's like a 9-hour drive to the closest one. But if you're in the major cities of Texas, you can get to a Cidercade within about an hour minimum. Maximum, whatever. Panic Flip Gaming. We'll talk about that in a second. Sorry, I just got distracted. Yeah, Cidercade's awesome. I mean, I'd show the video, but it would talk, you know, it would be over me talking, but it's such a cool place. $10 to get in, and you can get a $15 monthly pass. You pay $15, you can go to this arcade every single day and spend all day there if you have no life and no job and somehow have all that free time. And you could just play games on free play all day long. Every single game in there, including pinballs, on free play. I really like that place. I've been meaning to try to contact someone from Cidercade to see if I can just do something with them where I can maybe get in before the place opens and even maybe interview somebody there. So since I'm bad at marketing myself, if anyone from Cidercade ever sees this or sees anything I do, please let me know. I would love to do something with you guys to help promote the place. Not that it needs it. The place is packed all the time, so if you ever need any help, though, let me know. I love Cidercade. If you guys come to Texas, it's Cidercade. It's like hard cider, like alcoholic cider is what they make there and sell, and they also just happen to have a completely awesome set of arcade games at all of their locations. I think the Houston one's the biggest at about, I think they have 280 games, once again, all on free play. Every time I've been there, it's been on a Saturday, and it has been completely packed. I mean, so packed, it's almost unenjoyable. It's so packed, but if you get there early, you'll probably have a good time. Twin 78, there is a location in Austin. There's one in Dallas and Houston also. I'm sure another one's coming soon. Okay. Riley, at 100,000 subscribers, and you dye your hair purple. If I hit 100,000 subscribers, legit subscribers, I want somebody paying a bunch of bots. If I hit that before the end of the year, I'll dye my hair purple, no questions asked. Before the end of this year, though, so it's probably not going to happen, obviously. Brendan S., check the capacitors on the MK4. Hopefully that's all it would be. And Panic Flip Gaming says, if MK4 is playing blind, the Chinese video converter board, I put money on it. I'm hoping that's all it is. That looks like a pretty easy swap out. It's given me trouble in the past before anyway. You know, like I said, when I would boot up, all 4 of these cabinets would boot on, let me show this one here so you can see them all. Excuse me, all 4 of these cabinets would come on with one switch, and I think it caused problems with that little board, and it would like lose its settings. So the game would boot and play fine, but the screen would be zoomed way in, so I'd have to fix all that. My voice is definitely going. But I keep talking to you guys like all night here. I'm I definitely have to wrap it up soon. Frank, I think it's a poorly made converter board is the problem. I do too. It's a $30 board from what I can tell. And it is definitely from China because Chinese font comes up when it boots up initially. And I'm like, I don't know what that says. And I may have to just order a new one and try that first. Because the game seems to boot fine. I can put coins in. I can hit start on both players. And it runs fine. Sound works and everything. All right, Brady. Oh, Brady Rhino. Sorry, okay, I meant to say the name underneath. Oh, I already talked about that one. Keep Platts, man. I saw the reminder for the live stream, but totally missed the start. What's going on, folks? Chill stream night, I see. So I'm going to keep this video up. You can always go back. There's not a ton of news here other than the fact that you can now see a Killer Instinct Arcade1Up running. Apparently, it is just a prototype, by the way. So don't get too mad at it. It runs slowly at times, and the cabinet doesn't look exactly like I'd hoped. But yeah, Twin78, you bet you're moving to Texas. Yeah, say what you want about Texas. I know people probably have problems with it right now currently, but I got to tell you, we have an amazing arcade scene here. I don't know why we got so lucky. The Dallas-Fort Worth area has Cidercade. If you count the entire area, it has Cidercade. It has, I think, 3 free play locations. That's free play is another arcade chain up there. Obviously, all set to free play. It's $15 to get in. They have amazing arcades up there. There's also Tornado Terry's in the Fort Worth area. There's like, if you live in Dallas-Fort Worth, you are basically living in the 90s of arcade games right now, except for everything's on free play. Like, you get away better off there now than you did in the 90s. It's pretty insane. Oh, I saw Twin78. You went there on a Friday night. Where was it? Okay. Oh, Mr. Keebler. You went to Austin location on a Friday night, and it had plenty of people, but it was spacious and breezy with the temp. So yeah, they have that outdoor patio. I was there Saturday. Sunday. They have that outdoor patio. You can go out there and look out at the, I think that's considered Lake LBG. No. Anyway, I don't remember what it's called. I live here. I don't even know what it's called. I don't live in Austin, but anyway, you can look at downtown Austin. The river's out there. There's people running by. There's all kinds of stuff going on out there. It's a really nice place. Used to be a Joe's Crab Shack, by the way. It's kind of funny. I love it. They have a Killer Instinct. I mean, and it has KI 1 and 2 in the cabinet, and you can just switch it by pressing a button. Can't really beat it. The Wicked Arcade is here. Plot twist, the KI cab will be running the SNES version. Well, it's moving at about that same frame rate. Even the SNES version was better than that. So, yeah. If you guys are just joining, just go back and watch the replay later. I'll leave it up. Anyway, Riley, you hope to hang out with me someday. Well, if I ever get out to your area and do an arcade meetup, which I'm always talking about doing arcade meetups, the only reason I haven't is because all this COVID nonsense is still going on, and I don't want to set something up and put it on the books and then have to cancel it or something stupid. So we'll see. I fear fall and winter's only going to get worse. And Cidercade can get a little toasty when it's hot outside in Texas. You know, the building's running a ton of arcade games, and it just gets a little warm at times in certain parts. So if the fall looks good, I'll probably do it then. Okay. Twin78, do they have a 1-Up arcade bar? I don't know what that is. Are you talking about like an actual Arcade1Up arcade bar, or is that a place I don't know about? Arcade signals is all over the place from what I've heard. I don't know. I don't even know. Attenuating? I can't even. I'm destroying that, Frank. Sorry. Panic Flip Gaming. Chris, one more thing. Buy a real KI board, find an MK2 or 3 Midway cab, and convert it to KI with all new artwork. It will be cheaper in the end, and that's the sad part. You're so right about that. I have looked at that. There was a $500 Midway cabinet near me, I believe, and I think it was a Midway cabinet. It had light guns in it, and you know, it's like I thought about like, okay, I could just buy a new control panel. They already make them. They're all on eBay. You can buy a reproduction Killer Instinct control deck. You can buy all that stuff, and it would probably be cheaper that way. Excuse me. The Wicked Arcade, the real KI PCBs run high 1,000 or more. I know. It's devastatingly true, unfortunately. So even the broken ones on eBay, they want like $750 plus shipping. It's ridiculous. Terry Caleb, do I have a Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet? I don't. I never really played that game. I suck at all those Japanese fighters. Probably my fault, though. Tekken Tag Tournament, gaming room, all right. Okay, I need to wrap this up before my voice is completely gone. I hope you guys enjoyed just a hangout and chat thing. I wish I was more prepared for it. I would have loved to have had questions lined up. I'm going to try to start doing these where I just sit down and talk to you guys maybe more often. Not necessarily once every week because I can barely keep up with the schedule of everything going on right now work-wise. So just keep an eye out for me. Oh, rock and roller. Every time I say I'm going to wrap it up, you pop in. I'm sorry. This one will be up to be rewatched, though. I'm going to leave it up since it's kind of news-related. Ryu977FN, keep up the good work, bro. I'm a fan. I share your passion for the Killer Instinct franchise, and I use the MAME version myself. If Arcade1Up brings a good version out for $600 or under, you'll get it. I think that's a fair price. So if they do it, I'll take it. Like I said earlier, that's a fair price to me too. Twin78, we have 1UP arcade bar here, a local bar called Tappers and a local arcade at one of the malls where you pay $10 to play. Oh, okay. So they have arcade games and PS4 and Xbox One games. Yeah, so we don't have one of those. I don't know where you are, but definitely don't have one of those. We had something similar. We used to have Ultra Arcade here in San Antonio, and I knew the guy who was running it. I used to go there. I'd try to support it. It was coin operated, but it also had console games. You'd pay a fee just to play those, but they had a Killer Instinct, and I was like, oh, I'm going just for that, because that was in the dark days of arcade games. I just realized, I hope my signal's been okay. I didn't plug into my wired connection, but anyway. They didn't have a lot of Killer Instincts around, so when that one was there, I went and played it a lot, but it's shut down since then, sadly. Flemish Lion, there is a little bit of news. It was seen in a video. Here, I'll put it back up on the screen. It's seen in a video here. I'm not going to... I don't know why my stuff's showing up all of a sudden. I'm not going to actually talk about it again. Just go back in the video and watch it. Oh, bumped the camera. Indianapolis, okay. Okay, I've got to wrap this up. I don't have Tekken Tag in these cabinets currently, but I might add that one eventually. Justin Manny, I'm surprised they haven't made Time Crisis or Area 51 1-ups. Time Crisis may not take that much power, but you probably aren't emulating any of the other Time Crisis games. So I don't think that they're going to do that one unless they come up with some special way to emulate them. Area 51 is one of those games like Blitz, takes a lot of power to emulate. Core i5 is emulating it in my shooter cabinet, which is right here to my right. So you need a lot of power. Okay, guys, wrapping it up for tonight. I went almost an hour. That's pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just a little hangout, talk about some news that's popped up. And I'll try to do it more often. So if you guys are new, please consider subscribing for more. I just realized I haven't been looking at the multi-stream chat. Doesn't look like anybody's left anything I've missed, though. Anyways, please subscribe for more. If you happen to watch this later and you've enjoyed it and you've made it to the end, leave me a comment. Let me know. And good question, Twin78. When's the next live stream? I don't know. I can't commit to anything. Maybe this weekend, and maybe that'll be more of a gameplay live stream, but we'll see. Maybe next week. This week is crazy for me work-wise. I can't believe it's already almost 8 o'clock, so I've got to get going. Okay. KI will have Wi-Fi, Jim, apparently. According to... It's actually... The live button is seen... Oh, you can't see me pointing at it. You can kind of see my mouse moving around it right there. The live button is there, so we'll see. They say it's supposed to have online play. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm going to go ahead and end it now. And have a good rest of your week. I can't believe it's just Monday. It feels like it's already like Wednesday. But anyway, check out my gameplay Monday from today if you want something else to watch. It's Hydro Thunder played on my real arcade cabinet. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Have a good rest of your week, guys. I'll see you.